In regards to self-actualizing within my career, or what point, I mean, I think it's important, and I've said this in class before, that, you know, that I believe self-actualization is not a state, right? Like we don't self-actualize and there we are. We exist as, somehow a human being that is raised above all those that are around us, and so on and so forth. I mean, I would, I wouldn't even argue that the Barack Obamas of the world, or the Elon Musks of the world, or something like that. I mean, just because you're successful in a job, or you've made a lot of money or something like that, isn't, to me, what self-actualization is. In fact, I'm not even sure what it is still, because we look at it as a pyramid, and we've had a couple classes about it, but we haven't done any real deep digging into not just Maslow's theory, but the things that have fallen from it. And so in my life, I'm never where I want to be, ever. And I survive, and I think I do great things as a teacher. I think that sometimes I come up with ideas and I plant seeds of knowledge that grow in certain students. I expose them to new ideas. I mean, I think in the grand scheme of things, for a high school teacher who focuses on social studies and reading and writing, I do my job well for my certain subsect of, students in my little world, right? But, if I was self-actualizing as a teacher, I mean, I don't know what that means. Maslow talks about transcendence, for example, right? This, I mean, these are huge concepts that I haven't even really racked my brain around. Yeah? So, I don't know how you can put anybody out, interview. I mean, here's an example of self-actualization. He got a good job after working a lot of other good jobs. But what I will say is that when we look at Maslow's pyramid of self-actualization, I'm constantly trying, to figure out how to satisfy those, those two upper quadrant needs about, respect at work, or, different things like that. Being somebody, as I said in my previous video, being somebody that hasn't got, a degree, and, I feel like I'm, I have my degree now, of course, but I feel like I'm always behind my contemporaries, and, I'm not in the best school in Thailand, and even here I don't get all the things that exist in Maslow's hierarchy, and I never have. So I mean, if we look at it like that, I don't think there's any self-actualizing in my life, but there is a lot of struggle and fight to to try to get the fulfillment of those needs that exist in the middle quadrants, or the middle rungs of Maslow's hierarchy. So for me, I see self-actualization as, if it exists, as something that perhaps I can experience, maybe later in life, right? I mean, I still have aspirations for a master's degree. I still have aspirations for, doing things in education that's very different than I am now. So I'm nowhere near where I want to be. And if you're nowhere near where you want to be, how could you ever say that you're a self-actualized person? But I'm definitely somebody who, I think that if Maslow interviewed me, or the people who are very, experts in the idea of psychological self-actualization, I mean, I think they would find me an interesting case, in study, because I believe I am to be a complex human being, if that makes any sense. And if I never self-actualize, I'd be okay with that, because I don't know what benefit there is for self-actualization, right? I'm just a teacher, man. I just want to go about my day and try my hardest to reach as many teenagers as I can, and empower them to think for themselves, and empower them to look at the world, empower them to, find, their voice in the written word. So I really could, to be honest with you, could care less about self-actualization as a teacher. I don't know what that means. I still don't. I get what we're doing in class, and I take it seriously. But I mean, I don't sit here, and spend a lot of time trying to figure out, what do I need to do to self-actualize, right? Every day I try to be a better teacher. And I think that's a conversation that's more, up my alley, right? Self-improvement, progress, these sorts of things.